Hello. So I am going to treat you to a flip of my second little book that I have been making a page in with Tanya McGuire practically every Sunday for the last couple of years. It started when she sent a little book out to a whole bunch of us, and a bunch of us are doing this with her every Sunday, just making one page, usually with stuff left over on our desks. I filled one book up, and this is my second little book. I made this one myself, and I have filled it up. So here we have it. It's made out of a 6x9 envelope that I jelly printed. Got two signatures of 8 pages each. The new one I made with 9 pages. So I'm just going to flip through here and tell you about this book. The first piece in here, I went straight through in this. Sometimes in the first one I kind of jumped around dates, but this is all chronological. So it started the Sunday after the election in November, and it was after we heard on Saturday that Biden had won. And so here is a braille page and the writing on the wall. The next week, my brother-in-law died. Lovely man. This was the page I made for him. This was an attempt to crochet into the playing card, but I broke it, so I ended up having to make some lace and glue it on. Things don't work the way you plan them sometimes, right? Pages sticking together? Not really. Evening falls, the day is ending. All my work, I lay it down. Let it rest until tomorrow. Day is done. Lay it down. That's a song by Betsy Rose that she wrote during the pandemic. During the pandemic. Yes. Getting on to Christmas. This is a hand-carved stamp in December. Silent night, solstice night, quiet rest until the light. Then in mid-December, here I am pining for spring, looking for a place in the sun. Winter solstice. January 3rd, wishing you everyone peace. Peace on earth, goodwill to all. Oh, this was the Sunday after the siege on the Capitol. And that experience, we were all thinking about enemies and thinking about all that stuff, and so it made me think of this quote I love by Carl Jung. What if I should discover that the poorest of the beggars and the most impudent of offenders are all in me, and that I stand in need of the alms of my own kindness, that I myself am the enemy that must be loved? What then? Carl Jung. Great quote. Goodies left over. Linda was doing cutouts, and so she gave me the pieces of things that she was just going to toss. So that was one of them. Has to go in a book. I get it, and I get to put it in a book. Valentine's Day. This is another hand-carved stamp. This is a hand-carved stamp. This is not my image. This image is from a t-shirt that I had on a shirt that I got from Buddy's in Sebastopol. Had little critters on it, and I reduced it in size and turned it into a stamp, made a stamp. This was the weekend I found my friend Sharon. She was in a nursing home in Texas, and I had not been able to find her. That's me, and that's my friend Sharon. But on the 21st of February, I found her. So this was the gratitude page for finding Sharon. The end of the book. This is a stencil from Jackie Jimerson. Jackie Jimerson. Love her works that she does on her jelly plate. Making little things, you know, every once in a while people are making little paper and fabric goodies. This is a hand carved stamp. This is a hand carved stamp. I think that must have been around Easter, because here's the Easter bunny. I consider this me and 3 of my friends dancing under the full moon in our bathrobes. Follow your dreams. I'm listening. Another song. I'm listening. Spirit, speak to me. My 2 moms. I think Tanya was actually still out of town on Mother's Day, but I decided I needed to do one for my 2 moms. This is Kathy Taylor, the lady who was our housekeeper when I was growing up and definitely in need of adult conversation in the kitchen when I'd get home from school. I hated high school. Tanya's back home, and I'm grateful. Grateful for this Sunday art ritual. Surrender. A little goodie that came from Kathleen when I bought a book cover from her, one of her fabric book covers. Kathleen Hansen from Australia. And this is a song words. The word surrender, because my friend Janice had a second stroke right after we went to visit her. And the song, holding on comes easily. We don't need to learn it. Practice letting go, letting go, letting go. Yeah, we don't need to learn holding on. Hand carved stamp. Alive in these times. This is one of my favorite pages in this whole book, I think. Just so, I didn't do very much to it. I just kind of made that horizon line with watercolor pencils. Mourning and rebirth. This says that this is a paragraph from a newsletter by church put out by Amy Day, and it's about healing and recovery during this time. It is only when my body senses safety once more, once it feels the telltale signs of terra firma settling beneath my feet, that I then begin to process and experience the tragedy that is no longer, but has been thrumming just below the surface of my skin, a second pulse. It is only then that I feel the weight of what has been, peer into the chasm I've been running in circles in, lo, these many days, weeks, months. Only Then do I catch my breath and pause long enough to look up and see what has been lost. We are all in the middle of this loss. The whole COVID thing, going back under wraps, mourning and rebirth. We all have to birth ourselves out of this terrible place. We have to find a new way of being, a new way of listening to one another. Enough of my preaching, right? Scraps on my desk. A poem scrap. Be too awake. Trust the trembling forest. Place your hands on hot earth, on cold stones, in living streams. Be too awake, even if it is the only thing you have left to be. These were all goodies from an Expression magazine that I had found, and we're going through stuff and getting rid of stuff, so I harvested images from there. And it's all from that same Expressions magazine from 2002 or something like that. This was last week. Take your time, go slowly. That's from that song in Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon. Do your work slowly. Do few things and do them well. Heartfelt work goes purely. Can't remember. Anyway, and you'll see more of these images when I get to my Same-Sex Wednesday, I believe in October. This image of the mushrooms and the snail are in there. But I like the snail and the take your time, go slowly. And this was today's. The native ginger plant leaves that I was printing with. This was the stamp that I saw this on here and I couldn't remember what it was. It's a stencil, I mean. I couldn't remember what it was. I couldn't remember what it was. And then all of a sudden, oh yes, it's one that I made from a Kleenex box. And there it is. And that was the last one in my book. And then, but wait, there's more. If I can find it here. Because I want to show off my new little book. These were the prints that I made in Tanya's live stream last week. And I finished them. I did almost all of them in the stream. And so I just wanted to flip through this a little bit. These are going to be the new pages in my new Tanya's little book. And they are backgrounds, so they'll get covered up. So that day I was printing with the wild ginger and the fern and some stencils. I liked how things came out that day. This is that one from Jackie Jimerson, and this is a stencil from Vicki Brown. This is another stencil from Vicki. This, you can almost not see it on there, but that is the lavender I was working with. Ginger, wild ginger. Pretty, isn't it? Love those. Oh, and I had a little piece of Tanya's painty paper that she had used on her chili plate. So I had to put Tanya's little piece in. So I printed on the back of Tanya's piece. This is a tall grass that I also was printing with on my jelly plate. So, this is the next book coming up. And I'll be very happy to fill it up with wonderful memories and thoughts and whatever happens in the life around us. And yeah, whole new pages to discover. These are pretty just by themselves, aren't they? But they're going to get covered up. They're going to get used and loved. Loved even more. Meanwhile, until I cover them with something on my desk, I can pet them. Pet them and love them. Isn't that what you do with them? I like this one. So pretty. This is the only shiny one I put in here. That's a, yeah, I forgot what paint that is. It's a shiny metallic paint. So, there you have it. More fun coming down the pike. I'll see ya on the next one.